100% of reputable accessibility professionals are against overlays for accessibility on website. And when I speak of overlays, I'm referring to the widgets that you can install on a website and that when clicked present an array of supposed accessibility options. They don't work. They have never worked. The idea that they actually make a website accessible is asinine. If you want to know the technical reasons why, if you want to see testimonials from people with disabilities on why these are such failures, why they actually create a worse experience, you can go to overlaysdon'twork.com. You can go to overlayfactsheet.com. You can see the digital signatures of literally hundreds of accessibility professionals that are signing off that they are against overlays. And furthermore, you can go to overlayfalseclaims.com. This one may be of particular interest to you because it dispels the notion that overlays can prevent litigation. Overlays are a temporary solution. Overlays are a stopgap. They don't stop complaints. I've read through numerous complaints, some of which name overlays specifically, and they speak out against them. They don't work. They fail in so many regards. Karl Groves has spent so many hours on this work and has done a tremendous job. So the information is there. This is not a secret. It's out in the open. Overlays fail. They don't create an accessible experience. At best, they might provide some marginal utility, but the real problem isn't the overlay itself. It can be, but that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that overlay vendors tell prospective customers, or they indicate to prospective customers, that overlays are indeed a solution, that overlays make your website ADA compliant, they make your website WCAG conformant. Overlay vendors either outright claim that, they'll say it outright, they'll lie, or they will give the impression of such. They will give the impression that overlays solve for most of accessibility, and that they accomplish all of these things and dramatically improve the accessibility of your website. It's not the case. Now, again, I will link to those Karl Groves resources in the YouTube description. But I've gone over this. I've talked about it myself before. The purpose of this video is to bring the bigger issue to the forefront. Scams are pervasive everywhere. We see them on billboards. We encounter them regularly. There's deceit, bad reviews, promises not kept, quality lagging well behind claims, scams, deceit, bad products, bad services, nothing new. You can find them in almost every industry. The problem is that people with disabilities are directly harmed by overlays. And people with disabilities are a marginalized group. And when we hear so much about diversity and inclusion, and people with disabilities are often left out. And so people with disabilities, this has been such a fight to get equal access and to ensure rights. And right now, within these last 5 years and in the present, has been such a great transition, such an opportune time to make the digital world accessible, to push for accessibility in the digital world. And the problem is that overlay vendors are subverting that, and they are distracting and they are confusing the issue, so that now when website owner, operators, controllers are looking for how to make their website accessible, they are met with lies and fraudulent messaging that sends the message that overlays are the answer, and they're not. And everybody knows this in the accessibility industry. It's not. This is all out in the open, and they're lying, and they know it, and they know what they're doing, and they don't care. And I think that might be something that surprises people, is that it really is that bad. Like, no, they are outright lying and deceiving to you. It's not even close. It's just known, and that's what it is. Overlays don't work. They lie to you, and they don't care. And the problem I have with them, and it's because the problem I have is that they are directly and knowingly and intentionally harming a group that has been marginalized and ignored for decades and fighting for their rights. And it's truly disgusting to watch so many websites, so many, especially the large organizations, fall for this ruse and this lie. And there are so many times that I go to a website and has an overlay installed, and it's just and these are some large organizations that are installing them. So it's not like they couldn't have researched it and found out that overlays don't work. Maximum 10 minutes of research, and you will quickly find out that it is at least problematic, or there are at least questions into whether these purported solutions have any efficacy. And you would think that some of these organizations with, just the resources necessary to spend a few hours looking into how they want to go about addressing accessibility, that they would, but they end up installing an overlay widget, and really it's like it's just showing that they don't care, especially when you go back to that website and you can see that they're still using that overlay widget, and the website still has accessibility issues that haven't been addressed. And so it's not as if, I think it'd be more apt to give the benefit of the doubt if I saw that an overlay was installed and then maybe a few weeks later it gets pulled back. But I know of some websites that I go to, and the overlays have been there for months, probably even over a year at times, and it just shows that for so many organizations, diversity and inclusion is a joke. It's only what's popular. It's only about virtue signaling, but it's not actually about ensuring diversity and inclusion. Because if you get an overlay and you don't bother to investigate what it actually means and what it does, and especially for those entities with larger budgets, you can only come to the conclusion that you don't care.